Welcome back to Alcohol Podcast. Alcohol Podcast?
Alcohol Podcast.
Welcome back to Alcohol Podcast, where we content about alcohol. I'll just cut this part and then we'll go in. Yeah. All right. Welcome back to Alcohol Content. We are live in the studio, but not on YouTube. Ryan.
Live. We
got Rick. And we got me, Austin. And we are now doing our first round of the semifinals. Back with some heavy hitters in the $20 to $30 range of bourbon. So what are we starting out with?
Well, we're starting out with, Old Tub. We've obviously tried all these in the, somewhere in the different 4 rounds, and these are 5 that moved on to the first semifinal, and there's 5 for the other semifinal. So we're starting with Old Tub, a Jim Beam product, and when we were, actually I didn't even think of this until we lined them up there, and this is sort of like a bout between Jim Beam and Heaven Hill Distillery, because 2 of them are Jim Beams and 3 of them are Heaven Hills. I didn't even realize that till I looked at them, but yeah. So it's Old Tub bottled and bond, and $24.95 because it's bottled and bond. Of course, it's 100 proof, and it's a Jim Beam product. So yeah, that's the first one.
It smells awesome
on the slate.
You want to grab Old Tub and bring it down for the folks at home?
Yeah. Sort of a traditional bottle.
Old Tub.
Yeah, that nose is just rich.
This is one we said smelled like or tastes like Play-Doh.
Yeah. I think you mentioned Play-Doh.
Yeah, I think I was pretty hung up on Play-Doh. I still get it.
Multiple people have mentioned that comment to me.
Really?
For the fact, when
like,
I talk
really
about
Play-Doh?
alcohol, they're like, "Oh, does it smell like Play-Doh?" I'm like, all right, yeah, Ryan's that dumb. It's true, but
Yeah.
at the time, you're right.
I still smell it.
Really?
Yeah, I just and I can't remember. I didn't say Play-Doh, but I said something sort of similar to that, and I still smell it, but it's not as prominent for me today. And again,
100 proof, right?
Yep, 100 proof. Said this a lot. It sort of depends on the order that you do, what you've been doing that day. So the smell, taste, obviously can change. Palates are different.
Damn.
It's still one of the most interesting ones that we've had.
Yeah.
It's weird, but I like it.
I like it. It travels. It has it just travels from the front to the back and kind of gets some different tastes going on. It's a nice and sweet. It's a little hot. Like it hits you with some heat. But it's not too much. It just fades as it travels throughout your tongue.
It really does not seem 100 proof.
No.
It's so
The nose
the
does
alcohol
not
is
smell.
so integrated into it that you just don't.
You can
tell.
take a big old whiff of this. Doesn't burn my nose.
Yeah.
Why is that? Like, why are there some? I think Fighting Cock might have burnt my nose when we were tasting that previously. Why? This is 100 proof. Why can't I just put my nose in there and not burn? It doesn't really make sense to me.
Right, because ethanol is ethanol.
Yeah.
So it's evaporating. I think it really depends on how much else you're getting. So if there's a lot of, I guess, smell going on that's not the ethanol, that can kind of cover it up, and that's why you get more or less, or perceive more or less, I suppose. Because, we've had other 100 proofs, but this, this is a lot of flavor, but for your nose.
Yeah. Yeah, and when I do tastings, especially, there's usually a range of people, some that have had bourbon and some that are new to it or whatever. Definitely the people that haven't, or they're not used to drinking alcohol without a mixed drink, or their vodka or whatever it is. Almost all of them, it could be 80 proof, and they're like, their tasting or their smelling note is, that's just burned my nose.
Yeah.
Just burned my nose.
I don't think we've mentioned before, but part of the reason, like if people are watching us tasting whiskey and they taste along with us, they might just say this is alcohol. Like it tastes like alcohol.
Yeah.
And that will always happen until you drink enough, which is kind of messed up. But if you drink fairly, it doesn't have to be a lot, but a little bit, fairly consistently, it actually blocks the receptors in your tongue that give you that, whoa, booze, just ethanol.
Yeah.
And that's when you can start tasting all the other stuff with it. So I've had so many people that I say, oh, it tastes like this and this and this. And then they taste it and they're not used to alcohol at all. So they're just like, wow, that's ethanol on the tongue.
And you belittle them and say, it's an acquired taste.
Yeah.
No, but it's sort of, but I think Ryan, I think the key point you made there is you don't have to be some, drunkard or whatever, booze hound. You could just have a little bit and smell on it 10 minutes later and smell it again and then taste a little bit. And I mean, very little alcohol. And you end up starting to, now I can pick out some of this type of stuff after a little while. So, yeah. And so what are you picking out? What's everybody picking out on the actual flavor profile palate?
I mean, it's got a nice caramel to it. I think the caramel and the wood go really well together. It doesn't.
I think there's a big wood note.
But it's interesting you say that because you definitely get wood, but it's not overbearing to me.
I feel the wood on my tongue, and the caramel and the wood. The sweetness is just balanced. Like this is a really well balanced bourbon.
I agree, but I still think that there's interesting things going on with it. There's definitely a caramel note, toffee caramel note that I'm definitely getting. There's certainly some wood there, but not for me. It's not. It's in balance for sure.
Yeah.
But there's other things going on. There's little, I want to say, Christmas spices going on or warmer spices going on in here. A little ginger, and it is 100 proof, so it's not overbearing, but I get a nice, just slight little Kentucky hug. You know what I mean?
The ginger description, especially the heat of the ginger.
Yeah.
That's where it
exactly a little heat. It doesn't feel like it's proof. It feels like it's a warming spice, like ginger. Yeah. Not so much cinnamon on this, but
I wouldn't say cinnamon. It's less funky than the last time to me.
Yeah,
me too. Yeah, I would agree. There's a little interesting funk and a little. I mean, just every once in a while, I'm getting a little Play-Doh or bubble gum or pie crust. The crust itself flavor going on. But that's playing around the caramel, the wood and stuff like that, and warming spices. Yeah, it's good.
Weird to me that the wood is so prominent, and it doesn't bother me. Because usually if it's overly woody, that throws me off and I don't like it. But this, it has pretty significant wood featured, and it doesn't bother me.
I think it pushes the limit of the wood. It's kind of like pumps it up, but it stops at a certain point.
Yeah.
It does not continue. It's just like, you get it hard, the wood hard, but it doesn't go any further.
You do what to the wood?
Yeah. If you
what?
What are we doing?
What are we doing now?
Yeah. So the hardwood.
It's a little woody. No, it's not.
It's a soft wood.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. This is the hardwood. It's been soaked in the alcohol for a little while. So
get a little hardwood.
I think it pushes the envelope of what can be there.
Hard, yeah.
And I find that it is on the edge, and I'm curious to try this.
Edged.
I'm curious what the Evan Williams is going to do after this.
I'm sort of curious for you too. I'm looking forward.
Right now,
I need a break.
I'm looking forward.
Yeah.
It's like
the doctors only recommend 4 hours. I don't know how long we do.
Did you need to tell us something? It's okay if you need to excuse yourself. Wow.
So.
Table just starts lifting at an angle.
Yeah.
We've seen this before, right?
You're gonna have a little. I guess you should have a little bit of Old Tub in the morning, huh? That's your morning wood.
Mm-hmm. Unless the Evan Williams can take it.
Okay, so that's we've been a little too bawdy.
Huh?
I mean, that's a little. That's a little insane. I mean, we need a little Shakespeare. Maybe a little Shakespeare.
We are highbrow.
Yeah, to wood or not to wood?
To ride a horse or not to ride a horse?
Mhm.
That is equestrian. There's a dad joke for you.
Hit the sound effect on the thing.
That's not bad. I was not expecting that.
Yeah, well, we gotta move on from the.
So, Old Tub, good.
Yeah,
That is a contender for sure.
It's very good.
Yeah, I think it did well. I forget what order it was in, but it did well, but funky.
I think it was either mid or late in the order than we did it last
Yeah,
time.
I think it was.
Yeah,
it
so I
was
can
right
look it
before.
up,
I think it was right before the 100 proof Old Forester.
So it got overshadowed.
Yeah,
by that
and
Old Forester.
I think doing this first is putting it in a good spot to kind of like
Yeah.
give it some.
I'm sort of surprised that
wind
it
in
didn't
sails.
have. I mean, I really enjoyed it last time. We clearly did because it moved on.
Yeah.
But it just was a little. There was. I remember Russ talking about it being a little more spiky. I mean, interesting and very good, but sort of spiky and a little oddly good. And I haven't heard us talk like that. We're just going like, this is really just really good.
Yeah.
This time around. So we're moving on. So that was a Jim Beam, right? I told you this is the showdown between Jim Beam and Heaven Hill, as it turns out. That wasn't planned that way. So Old Tub's Jim Beam. This is Evan Williams single barrel. So this is the high end of our price point, $29.99. And this is going to be the weakest as far as proof at 8 that we're drinking this evening at 86.6 proof. And again, it's single barrel. So they can vary,
Sure.
but
So right off.
And this was what, 8 years approximately?
yeah, 7 at 11 months or something like that. So about 8 years. And if I remember right, you enjoyed it last time, and it surprised you, Ryan, because you weren't nuts about it before because it was too woody before.
Yeah.
And Austin, you were not a fan really at all.
I thought the wood did not do it justice, and to give it, you guys did enjoy it, and supposedly if this is going to be something that might be able to bat above its weight, I want to like this, but that's why I wanted
last
to.
time.
I did not like it,
No.
and that's why I wanted to give it a second try, and hopefully in a different order. I think next to Old Tub, it's going to be interesting to taste.
Well,
this.
yeah, we started out of the gate strong.
And going down a little bit in alcohol, giving it a little bit of helping out its sweetness. So
It is very interesting after the Old Tub.
Well, I'm getting on the nose. I'm getting it's brighter. It's a lot brighter. There's fruit notes. I'm getting a lot of fruit notes on the nose. What'd you get? What'd you guys get?
yeah, fruit. I kind of get some floral notes. Some vanilla,
Definitely vanilla.
like vanilla bean ice cream.
It just seems a lot brighter on the nose than the Old Tub.
And at 43%, I can put my nose in even more than the Old Tub. This allows me to take a big old whiff.
I think I actually am enjoying this more than the first time we tried it.
Really? And you've tasted it?
Yeah, on the taste, for sure. In fact, I would go as far to say, so I get definitely the wood is there, but I get more of that kind of smokiness. You get that smoky note?
There's a yeah, but it's balanced.
So I would argue, at least upon tasting it this time, that this is almost like a halfway for a Scotch person to go to. It's like a Speyside Scotch.
Yeah.
It has that smoke that's sort of just in there. It's also
Wow.
not super high proof, because I know most Scotches aren't.
I mean, I don't think I've ever said this before, but my first 2 sips of this, yes, you're right. There's a little tad of smokiness, but pleasant. I'm drinking rice pudding.
Huh?
That's the vanilla that you guys
Yeah.
mentioned or somebody mentioned, but it's rice pudding. Wow. And then a little citrus or a little
I don't know if I
acid.
agree with that. It's
It drinks for me. It just drinks very much different than the nose.
okay. What? How do you
I think
feel?
this is doing much better than last time for me. It's sweeter. It smells nice, sweet, like the vanilla, caramel, kind of citrusy. I agree with that. I'm wondering if it's just lacking in character now. Because
Well, it's lighter. It's the lightest proof tonight. So.
and it definitely coming off of the 100 proof. The old tub also had a lot of character. This is much more mild. I like the description of it kind of being towards Scotch drinkers. I think it would lend itself better if it wasn't going against like all of these bonded bourbons and things like that. This might stand alone a little bit because it is lighter. I am enjoying it much more, and I've had a couple sips, but what I remember when I was looking at the podcast, I was overran with the wood. Not this time. I think the old tub might have got me used to that, and this is much lighter.
Yeah, that was definitely sort of the stepping stone to this. Like, imagine trying this after like the Larceny.
Yeah,
It's gonna be a shock
It would
to
be
your
tough.
system for sure.
but that Scotch description and the smokiness, it's like you put in a little bit of peat,
Yeah.
and it's like okay,
Well, because a lot of the Speyside scotches are smoky, like distinctly smoky, but it's not peated.
oh really?
So they're not peat that they're burning,
Okay,
but they have that smoky characteristic.
That's
And-
sort of this.
And that's how I feel about this. So I think this is almost a stepping stone, one way or the other, from bourbon to Scotch or Scotch to bourbon. It's a little bit in that middle ground,
So
which is kind of
what's-
interesting.
what's the hand rubbing note?
So it's pretty.
He's rubbing one.
It's pretty interesting.
Back to the wood.
Yeah, no, I'm so on the essence of it. Now this isn't going to make sense time wise, but I'm walking through an apple orchard with apples on the ground, but also apple blossoms. Now I know that's not the way it works, but I'm getting apple blossom, sort of a floral apple blossom, but then also apples on the ground, and then throw in
Apples on the ground.
yeah, I mean just
Apples on the ground.
mature
Apples
apples
on the ground.
They're specifically spatially located apples.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, so it permeates the air because they're all over the place, and then some vanilla and some warm spice. I wouldn't say it's cinnamon, just some warm spice. It's sort of interesting. There's definitely some wood. There's definitely a slight smoke to it. 2 or 3 sips I had were rice pudding esque, but that was the vanilla. Maybe I'm misstating it, but that was the vanilla for me. But I don't get a heavy like caramel presence on this one or anything like that, or some super heavy toffee. I get vanilla, and I get a little bit darker, but it's not. I mean, it's interesting, and I'm enjoying it, but it is tasting
interesting.
differently than what I remember last time tasting it. That's I love it. That's sort of the beauty of this stuff. You have a bottle on your shelf, and depending on what your mood is and what the day's like or whatever, or how long it's been open and if it's past the shoulder or not, I mean, it can be sort of almost a different whiskey, or it's certainly a different experience.
And which is why we have the bracket, because we need to, if we put something forward, we need to try it again with other stuff to see like
where it stacks up.
Yeah, what is consistently the best.
Yeah.
And this for me was not very good, and I'm enjoying it more. I'm seeing what it has to offer. I actually think that it's kind of warm, like it's not high proof, but you feel the alcohol a little bit more. in a warm burn, like a cayenne kind of burn.
There's definitely a warm spice. I don't think I'd say cayenne, but there's definitely a warm. It feels like I'm eating rice pudding off of like an oak or cedar plank or something, but it's sprinkled with some warm spices.
Yeah, I feel what you're saying on like the top of my mouth.
Yeah. So I will say, it does. I think I did not allow it to live up to its supposed name, because supposedly it does bat above its weight according to what you guys have kind of found out. But I'm enjoying it. I would say I like the Old Tub more.
I think it's interesting, and I think it has a lot to offer. I still don't think it's the most enjoyable whiskey to drink.
Yeah.
Like that. Even from these 5, I think for me the Old Tub is more fun to drink.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting.
Old Tub or Evan Williams?
Well, they're both interesting, but this is more interesting in a out of body experience kind of thing. That's interesting.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, this is super interesting, I'm loving myself right now.
Yeah. This is a $30 experience that is good, and it's
probably worth getting one.
Yeah.
Well, so if you want and I know I repeated myself a number of times when we had this in the lineup before. If you want a single barrel on your shelf,
yeah,
there you go. For $29.99, this area, it's a single barrel. You're not going to get a cheaper single barrel. And so if you want a single barrel, so that means single barrel means it could be, somewhat a little different to sometimes a fair amount of difference depending on the bottle that you get. And so, I think I probably prefer the Old Tub tonight better than Evan Williams, but I'm glad I have Evan Williams single barrel. It's always sort of unique and different and enjoyable.
Now that I did enjoy it, I might go and pick one up.
Yeah.
So I would like to try it with other single barrels, narrow it down and then put it in.
Oh, I don't think it's going to stack up to that many other single barrels.
Well, I agree,
but
because just the proof point itself.
Just think about all the other brands that we've tried that have a single barrel.
Yeah.
Now, you're going to pay double.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I would like to see, because it's a single barrel, it stands a bit by itself in our lineups, because we have bottle and bonds.
Yeah.
We have, who knows what 100 proof Old Forester is, right?
Right. No, you're right. So it's unique in that sense, in that it's single barrel.
And so I want to see where its value actually lies up against its own category, which is single barrel. But
yeah.
All right, so moving on, we got the most popular
a new bottle of Larceny.
New bottle of Larceny. You fans at home have been wanting to try this ever since we tried it the first time, for good reason. Because
and the second time, right? Because that was in our wild card.
Oh yeah. So
and
people have been hitting me up about Larceny because our description of it, which I think it fits the bill perfectly, of being the best intro bourbon.
Yeah, we're correct.
Of what we've tried in this bracket. This is only in the bracket, but out of what we're trying, this is super friendly, and everyone that I've tried it with since, because I've gone out and shown this because everyone was so curious about it, they've loved it. So
doing the Lord's work.
Introducing Heaven Hill product.
This is Heaven Hill. Yep, another Heaven Hill product.
It is a brand new bottle.
So just cracked it, and interestingly, that it's named Larceny, and I learned that you had a little larceny in your life this week.
Yeah, speaking
Did
of
you have
larceny,
you had a car stolen? Do tell.
Oh boy, what a segue on that.
Well, I don't know if it's a segue. I want to know.
Bourbon, and now it's stealing some trucks.
You had a car stolen. Was it was in the driveway? I don't know the story yet, so I need to find out.
Right. For the viewers at home, I had my truck stolen out of my driveway at 5:30 in the morning on a Monday.
Were you like warming it up or something?
No, I work from home, so
you weren't warming it up.
I woke up, I walked upstairs, had a meeting, and then I checked my security camera, and I was like, "Oh, did my girlfriend take the truck this morning?" And turns out she was still sleeping in my room, and yeah, my truck got stolen. I saw it on camera, which was really interesting. But
how did they start it?
they had a key that
Filed?
was. It seemed like it was a shaped key. All right. Yes, I know. I accidentally left my truck unlocked. Okay, I live in a decent neighborhood. All right, guys, I forgot. Anyways, everyone's going to be telling me that, oh, it's your fault that you got it stolen because you left it unlocked. It's like, no, that's not how it works, okay? It's their fault.
Yeah.
You were asking for
Victim
it.
blaming is not great, all right?
How was it dressed?
Yeah, exactly. It had some mud flaps on it. It was asking for it, okay? It was asking for it.
Wow. Wow.
So, basically, they got into the truck, and they just were able to start it up and drive away. Nothing was damaged, so they didn't jab.
You didn't see it driving away or anything
No.
like that. It was gone. You saw that.
My security camera stopped once they shut the door, and then because it didn't detect any human people anymore. But I went through the whole police thing. It's been gone for a while. I went to try to find it because I thought I had a GPS tracker on it, but they actually got rid of it, threw it out.
Smart.
Yeah. So basically, what happened was I got a call from the police, and they're like, "Hey, we found your truck."
Like how much later?
It got stolen at 5:30, and they called me about 3
in the afternoon.
3 in the
Yeah,
afternoon.
Okay.
So they call me and they're like, "Hey, we have the guy. We have your truck. We're looking at him. He is currently passed out, but the truck's running." And in our
Passed
state,
out in the driver's seat.
yeah. So we'll get to that in a second. So the police are not able to pursue unless the perp is a danger to society. So the cop called me. He was like, "Hey, we have your truck. The dude's sleeping, but we won't be able to chase him. Are you okay if we spike the tires?" And I was like, "Hell yes. Spike the tires, damn it. I don't care. I'll buy new ones. Doesn't matter to me." So he's like, "All right, well, we'll call you, and let you know what happens." So basically they call me like, "Hey, you need to come pick up your truck. And also, your truck cannot drive because there's no tires." So I had to go get it towed.
So they woke the dude up.
Yeah,
Be like,
so
"Hey, man,
essentially
this
what
isn't
happened.
your truck." And then he just gunned it.
Yeah, so
over spikes.
So we'll kind of weave a tale here. Basically, what happened is the guy was smoking crack in my truck. He had the windows up, and he was smoking crack.
Was it your crack?
I mean, allegedly.
Officer, that was his.
Yeah. Whoa! Who put that in my truck? Anyways, officer. So I
Bigums.
You gonna stick around for very much longer? I need some privacy over here.
Things to do.
So he was smoking crack in my truck, and trust me, it smells like it. He ruined the interior, but he smoked himself out, rolled the windows down, passed out over outside the window.
Oh my God! Really?
Hanging out the window.
Like hanging out the window?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that's what happened to him. So they basically snuck up, threw out the spikes, and they woke him up. I don't know how they woke him up, but they probably had their guns out, like freeze or whatever. So he slammed into gear because it was already running, and he just peeled off, blew the tires.
Yeah.
And started rolling down the road, and I some of the neighbors came out and they told me the story. They're like, it sounded like a tank was coming through the neighborhood because he was on rims going like 40 miles an hour. So yeah,
It's like
so he couldn't go very much farther, obviously, because you can't trust me. The movies, you might be able to go like 2 blocks if your tires are blown out. You're not going very far. Okay, don't listen to the movies. So
because doesn't it just like bend the rims?
Yeah, your rims are...
Starts doing square tires.
Yeah, pretty much.
Hey, Barney Rubble.
It takes you, prehistoric before the wheel was invented.
Yeah.
So he stops the car. He doesn't crash it, luckily. He stops on a side road, gets out, and books it. The cops are there. They chase him down. They say, freeze. He doesn't. They tase the shit out of him.
In the dome.
They got him, boys. They got him.
That's
So,
great. That's awesome.
Yeah, the neighbors said they watched it. They saw the dude get tased, so I was pretty satisfied.
I saw the video.
That's pretty satisfying. I think you need to hit him again.
Yeah, give him another one.
Wow.
Of the
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
What I saw the video of your car, and you were like, were you rolling it somewhere just on those no tires?
Okay, so basically,
we're gonna
yeah,
post the
I'll
video.
post the. You'll see what the truck looks like. The tires are toast. They are done for. And so what happened is I had to get it towed on a whole bed tow, so it couldn't roll down the street on 2 tires. I had to get it completely lifted up onto a bed. Took it to the mechanic to put some to check it out and stuff. And they had to get the truck into the shop first of all. And so
That's what I saw.
Yeah, so this video of them just like flooring it and just the rubber of the tires just whoop, 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 whoop. They can't well, they ended up doing it, but they barely got it into the shop. And yeah, and I got my truck back with no damage other than it smells a nice
rims, right?
2 of them.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it just has a nice air freshener of crack. I didn't realize that was a flavor you could buy. But yeah, so that's what that was.
Dude, that's crazy.
That is crazy. Wow. Well, at least you got it.
The dude got tased and went to jail, so I'm pretty satisfied, like I said. But what's really lame is
he wasn't alone either.
No, it was.
And they got one dude.
They planned on stealing my truck. They wanted my truck, which
right.
Who doesn't want my truck?
But do you think the guy that was in your truck was the one? He wasn't the one that actually stole it.
No,
he was the one probably in the car.
Maybe.
The other car
So basically, what cops told me is there's a ring, and they actually took it to an area that they have seen this guy and other vehicles, and so I think they stole it, swapped people, and this guy basically started acting like it was his vehicle. He had all of his dinglings hanging, and he put up his phone holder and organized all my shit, which all my backpacking gear was in there. He organized it all, which was like, thanks, dude, appreciate it.
He was on crack.
No, this dude was high as hell.
I've seen a dude on crack empty out a public garbage can and organize all of the trash.
Yeah, that's what happened. All my trash was organized.
Oh wow!
But
that's great.
Yeah, so it was funny that he was like drinking a Coke. It was obviously opened, and when he ran away, the Coke was all over the truck. Yeah, I don't know what was like.
Oh my god!
But yeah, so
that sucks though.
It sounds like the police did a good job. I can't believe they actually called you.
Yeah, it was pretty
and said,
epic.
"Can we spike the tires?"
I could have said no, but I was like, I want my truck back. I'll put some new tires on. I don't care.
And if they hadn't done that, and the dude just slowly and nonchalantly rolled away, they couldn't go after him.
Yeah.
I don't even understand how that makes sense.
Like they're allowing grandmas to now be criminals because they can drive going 20 miles an hour.
But is the idea behind that like if they follow him, then it will turn into a car chase
then
and it becomes a danger to other people?
Danger to other people.
Which it makes sense.
But
from
can't
that
you just like box him in?
But then you can't damage those nice police cars.
True, they're like, don't touch our shit.
Or maybe they want to because they're like, oh, we actually need to spend more money.
We gotta hit that quota. So.
Yeah, we gotta get that Ponzi scheme going.
Well, I'm impressed. I'm impressed that
I don't know. I'm throwing things out there.
Ponzi scheme?
How do you know? You prove it's not a Ponzi scheme. The evidence is on you. Okay.
The burden of
the
proof.
cops.
The burden of proof.
Just getting back to bourbon, it's
no. And so how I slept that night is I grabbed some Larceny, thinking of criminals, and I slept very nicely.
Well, and I didn't pick up this note before, but oddly, this is smelling of like shredded rubber right now. No,
it smells like really. Crack.
No, I'm glad you got it back at least.
Yeah, that's nice.
So that was an interesting experience. Emotional roller coaster, one could say.
Yeah. Dude, just imagine him. He woke up and was like, oh my God, cops! Blows out tires.
Before that, he was like, I have a new home. I'm going to live in this truck. I got my bag of clothes. I got zip tied. I got everything.
Got the stick and the...
Yeah, the ones in the bag don't smell like crack. The truck does, but as long as the clothes don't, they're nice and clean. And then he fell asleep. He's like, I'm going to take a nice crack nap. woke up.
As they call it, crap.
Yeah, crap. This
Crack
is a nice crap. And yeah, he definitely had a roller coaster. He had an electric day, one could say.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
He was so high and then so low.
Yeah. Oh, the highs and lows of life.
Oh, wow, the mighty have fallen. That's crazy, though.
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
About the whiskey.
Yeah.
Being a brand new bottle, definitely more interesting, more intense. Obviously, still approachable.
Lots of pine, or like walking in a forest, wet pine almost.
On the nose.
Yeah,
I'm
on the
picking that
nose.
up, yeah.
I get a lot of that.
Almost crisp pine.
Yeah. Or maybe new in like a budling or whatever. What do they call those?
Sapling?
I think you're wrong. It's budling.
Taser.
Wrong. Taser. There we go.
In the dome.
A budling.
Yeah, a sapling.
So this is sort of, I'm picking up that too on the nose, which is very interesting because this is a wheated bourbon. And so, I mean, rye sometimes can be piney and minty and things like that. But this is the second, after corn, the second part of the largest part of the mash bill is wheat. So this is a wheated bourbon. And that's weird.
Isn't that interesting?
This is really interesting. Wow. Whoa. That pine is following. It is going from the nose to the
first 2 times we had it was toward the end of the bottle, which showed less proof.
Man, this is way different, but not in a bad way. It has some character now.
Yeah, I would agree with what you just said. It has. I'm not saying I'm not sure I love it, but it has more character than before. It's not as rounded as before.
Yeah.
So you also got the pine.
Oh yeah.
Does it follow through to you to the flavor?
A little bit. There's some on the taste. Yeah, which doesn't sound like a great tasting note. I mean, I'm eating a pine bough. I mean, it's not to that degree at all.
What we're tasting is the weeded part of it. It's just coming out in my brain like pine.
But that's weird because, I mean, rye can sometimes do weird things, but wheat is usually softer.
So we should maybe amend what we said because everyone's like, "Oh, this is the perfect starter."
Well,
bottle.
no, I wouldn't amend it.
Yeah.
No,
but it's definitely not the exact. It's not the same as what we.
Well, I think that sweetness. I mean, man, just the aftertaste. It is a really sweet bourbon.
Yeah. I'm not going to amend. I think the first time I talked about a tasting I did, and one of the guy's wives was there and was a trooper trying all the bourbons, and when this, little bits, and when this one came up, it's like, oh my God, what's that? Yeah. And I mean that still stands. Keep in mind too. I mean, there's many variables going on. Okay, this just cracked. The other one, we just opened this. The other one had been open a while, right? We have a different order.
Yeah.
So what came previous to this makes a difference. I mean, I like it. It's just not quite as rounded as I previously remembered it.
So, as we've said previously, I like things a little bit funky, something that stands out. I like this much more. I liked it previously. I think with the added character of that pine, I feel like I'm tasting the wheat more, and I don't know if I would like to have a baseline of what the wheat tastes like, what something wheated tastes like, and I don't.
It's kind of hard.
But it feels organic. It has a moss and
there's a funk. There's a little tiny funk to it,
and I'm enjoying it, especially coming off of the Evan Williams in the old tub. This is unique. This does not just taste like bourbon.
Yeah.
But
I'm impressed.
But the more I sip and that it's been in the glass longer, the more there's that corn sweetness that's starting to there's other things going on, and it's more interesting than before, but there's definitely a river of corn sweetness, which I don't mean that in a bad way, but there's definitely that's underlying everything for me.
Yeah, this is what kind of a wild card. I mean, it was our wild card, and
it was.
What's kind of interesting is it's reminding me of the Buffalo Trace.
And
I feel like it handles a lot of what we were kind of the funkiness of the Buffalo Trace. I think this handles it with its sweetness, and the funkiness is not as pronounced, but it's able to it balances it, and it kind of like shrinks it into a more a package that you can take a little easier.
Yeah, because I'm getting a little wood on this time, and I didn't before.
It's more prominent in the bottle. Yeah,
man,
it's good, man.
Every
time we've had it, it's impressive. Yeah. Every time.
It's just impressive in a little different way this time, or a significantly different way.
Yeah,
I don't think it, for me, just
so
looking, I don't think it at the moment doesn't beat out Old Tub for me. I don't even think it beats out Evan Williams for me, but they're unique in different ways, so they're sort of like, to me, they're sort of tied for me. At the moment, we'll see. But again,
I will say,
the order,
Evan Williams, I feel like is just, it's not my bourbon.
Yeah.
I think Larceny is going to be above it. Definitely not above Old Tub, though.
Yeah, no, and that's, I mean, you tried so hard last time to like it. It's okay, man. Your palate's your palate, and you liked it better. Evan Williams, I'm speaking of, single barrel. You liked it better this time, but it's still, that's okay. That's sort of what this is all about.
Yeah.
You're probably not going to go running out to buy an Evan Williams single barrel. You know what I mean?
It's about us. It's not about you.
Yeah.
Out there.
Unless you comment, then it is about you.
Yeah.
It can be about you.
We can make it about
Let us know in the comments.
Interesting, though.
What do you think is better than the 3 that we've tried so far? So.
Yeah, come on.
And maybe we'll comment back. Maybe we can argue, right? Arguing online's fun.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Slide into the DMs.
All right, let me wash out my glass here.
You want to grab the...
Yeah, I'll get her. Old Granddad.
OGD.
So again, a new bottle.
Another fresh bottle. So there's several variables going on here.
See, we're trying to be honest with y'all. Okay? We can't just bring in some old bottle and say it's the best or say it's the worst.
I mean, we still have we do have where we left off on the other one. It's not like we spent the rest of the night
content.
drinking it.
We got to try the old bottles with the new bottles.
I'm not good at getting the
hell
plastic shrink wrap stuff off. Shrink wrap. Tase it.
This isn't good.
So
TV.
I feel bad for the 114. You know,
114.
Really?
I think they. I don't know when they.
114 is a solid value.
It's solid, but this is just they've outdone themselves with this. And this is who? Beam?
Yeah, Jim Beam. The second Jim Beam. So Old Tub was the first Jim Beam. And this is Jim Beam. Again, same mash bill as Basil Hayden's. This is 63% corn, 27% rye, and 10% malted barley. Okay, I'm going to let you get that. I think it's sort of a fake cork. There you go. Use the bar rag.
You know, I still haven't been able to find one of these bottles.
One of these?
Really?
Yeah.
They're not on the shelves?
Like when I would go to the
sometimes
store.
sometimes.
We're having troubles.
We're having troubles.
Technical difficulties.
We'll just
Oh, look at that.
All right. Does this have the glug though?
Oh, it's got a glug.
What's the glug rating?
Glug.
Oh.
It's not a bad glug.
On the mic.
As you poured a triple shot for us.
Yeah, that's okay.
I'm going to sleep. See you guys. I'm still getting over the trauma of being victim blamed.
Oh my God! What are you pouring?
I'm sorry. It's old. It's your old girl.
Jesus Christ! What are you doing to me?
This is rigged. He's setting up Elijah Craig to win. He's like, you guys need to be drunk before trying that.
It's gonna be hammered.
No, this has got nothing to do. Yeah, for God.
And then look, what?
What did he do?
You're darn right.
You're giving us brimmers.
Yeah.
It's a couple of drams.
I have a finger. You have
a fist.
How else are we gonna handle this wood?
I'm getting fisted.
Well, old Granddad.
We got a bunch of sips to go on this.
Well, you don't have to. Here's this concept. You don't have to drink it all, for God's sake.
Whoa.
What are you saying?
Yeah. What's the saying? Spilt milk?
Don't cry over
That's
spilt
it.
milk.
That is the saying.
It's the saying. Spilt milk. Spilt milk. There you go. Gee, where's the taser again? Well, maybe I have. Did you come over here to the pickup? Because I think maybe that remnants of crack are affecting you a little bit.
It's really fun to drive.
Spilt milk. Spilt milk. It's like, holy cow.
Just
What's the
pull
saying? Spilt milk. Oh, that's 2 words. It's not a saying.
You know what's actually funny is I wasn't trying to do the spilt milk. I was trying to do the don't put toothpaste back in the bottle.
In the tube. Oh, he is on crack, ladies and gentlemen. I think the shredded tires was the least of the problem. That's what I'm thinking.
I haven't even had this yet. I'm already feeling it.
Don't put the milk back in the tube. Or what's that saying?
Oh, man. Don't put the milk back in the tube.
You don't put the milk back in the spoiled tube.
Yeah.
Wow.
Don't cry over putting the tube back into the toothpaste.
Don't cry over toothpaste.
Woo.
So here you go. This definitely. I mean, all these have moved on, and so and this is bottled and bond,
Dude,
so it's
it smells
100
so
proof.
good.
100 proof.
So good.
Kind of a bit of a one-dimensional nose compared to the old tub, though. So the old tub is bottled and bond. This is bottled and bond.
Yes.
So we can
And
kind of put them.
both
But
Jim
I
Beam
love
products.
this nose. I love the nose. It's got kind of like almost a cinnamon and toast. Cinnamon
for sure.
Cinnamon and sugar toast.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
No, not the cereal. I don't think
Spilt milk.
Like actual,
That's where'd the milk go?
but actual like cinnamon sugar toast. I feel like that's the smell.
Yeah.
Which it's a fairly high rye, 27% rye. So cinnamon tends
You're gonna
to
say
show
I'm
up.
27% sure.
But I think just from what I can remember, I think the old tub nose I liked a little bit better. I mean, this is a fine nose, a little brighter than the old tub.
It's so good.
Oh,
It's so good.
Whoa.
I do think. I mean, we're gonna do the finals blind. I feel like this won't win in the blind. But if we move
Yeah, because
forward,
this fantastic label is definitely gonna convince us otherwise.
But I do like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah, this is
Everything works so well together in this bottle.
something that you want to comfort yourself for whatever reason. Maybe you're sad.
Maybe you spilled some milk.
Maybe you spilled some milk, but you don't want to cry. Although you will cry after you had a few drams of this. Jesus. But I find this...
Yeah, I don't think this is enough for me to get the flavor of it.
you wanted the glug. I gave you the glug.
It's true.
Glug, 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 glug.
I think this hits it home in being like Southern comfort. That's that vibe I get.
Not the brand.
No.
You remember that?
The shtick.
Do you remember Southern Comfort?
Don't remind me. Please don't remind me.
Get Southern Comfort when we were in like high school.
Yeah.
What? You can't drink when you're in high school. It's illegal. Tase them.
In the dome.
We were held back a lot.
So I'm gonna give you a hot take here.
Give it to me.
I'm gonna get a little sip in here.
Give me that hot take.
I think this is really good. Okay? No. I'm
take?
prefacing. I love this bottle.
Can you put it back in the
But
bottle?
I think Old Tub is more interesting.
That's your hot take?
And I think it lives up to the 100 proof a little bit more. And this is an easy drinker. I don't feel the alcohol.
No.
I like the burn of the Old Tub. Now that's why I tend towards bottled and bond, because usually the burns are enjoyable. And I think Old Tub, it has that bottled and bond feel. This is more comfortable. This is playing it safe is the wrong way to say it, but it's tasty. It's comforting.
Yeah, well, it
Old
is.
Tub, for me personally, my palate, what I'm looking for, has way more character. That's
fair.
that's my hot take.
Yeah, that's
no,
fair.
that's-
Fair enough.
I like it.
Both Jim Beam, both
I mean,
100
you're wrong,
proof,
but I
both
like
bottled.
it.
You know, the color of this, I know all bourbon looks kind of the similar, but this color makes me think of the flavor of honey, and it's warm. And I think they nailed it. I think they nailed it. Well, it's actually pretty much the exact same.
They're almost identical.
I think the
But you got that.
the label is what is
The Old Tub
convincing
and
me
the
right
Brandon are
here.
the same color.
So I think it's good. That's about it.
Your hot take. So, and that's what's perfect is, depending on what you're looking for,
Mhm.
you can go either way.
This has a place. I love this bottle of alcohol. But a big but. I'm glad that Rick. I'm glad you brought Old Tub because that is really unassuming.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure you'll be able to pick that up.
It's a nice little dark horse.
Yeah.
I got to piss.
Break.
There's my hot take.
Hot take.
Tase me, bitches.
Get him. Freeze.
I won't at least cross the
Where are you
camera there.
going?
Wow, this is the alcohol content first.
Yeah, what the hell?
Wow.
Sorry, guys.
So
He
what?
drank his, and we're still like,
Yeah, I know.
that's a full thing. Christ.
So what do you got going on here?
With the old granddad.
Yeah.
It is, I think the most interesting thing is having a brand new bottle.
Yeah.
It does feel more compact. And I think when we got further down in the bottle, I feel like certain things kind of opened up and it got a little more character.
It does taste different.
Yeah.
As from my memory.
Yeah. But for me, it's still like being more compact, everything still works together so freaking well. So like for me, I think this is a better bottle of alcohol than this. But like you said, this is more interesting almost. I think it really depends on what you want. Because, like, for me, I think everyone should have a bottle of this.
Absolutely.
I don't think everyone should go out and try to find this.
Yeah.
It's definitely fun and interesting, but I could see how people wouldn't like it.
Yeah.
This I can't see people not liking if they like whiskey.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, well, what are you going for? If you're somebody, because we're both more similar in that if something's weird, I want a new experience. And that's how it was with any kind of alcohol. With wine, definitely. Because you try so many wines, you try so many whiskeys. Eventually you get to the point where it's like, well, these are a dime a dozen. Even if it's good, I've had this 12,000 times. So give me something weird.
Yeah.
Because I've never had
Or a
this
little
before.
different. Yeah,
Yeah.
different.
And I found myself with wine, that was a huge thing for me. I wanted weird. I wanted the weird stuff. With whiskey, I still appreciate that, where it's like, oh, this is different. This is a different experience. But sometimes, like this, it's just so well put together.
Yeah.
And it's not, I wouldn't call it just run of the mill. It's not like, oh, caramel and vanilla.
No, this is good.
It's really good, and it is standout good. So
This is something you give your buddies who like, oh, you guys want to try some different
There's
stuff?
vanilla, there's cinnamon,
Yeah.
there's caramel, there's
and again,
a little clove.
we said it before, but cocktails. This would be awesome. in
The high
cocktails.
rye content. The high rye content, yeah. No, they definitely have it going on. Remember, this beat out, I mean, it wasn't in the same round, but Old Granddad 114 didn't move on. And this one did.
Yeah, that bottle tipped in a certain way to where it lost the brilliance of this bottle.
Yeah, it's and again
Not to
this
say
is
it's bad.
this
but
is the cheapest of the evening, $22.95.
that's the other thing.
22.
That's the other thing.
Damn.
What?
What's Old Tub?
That is $24.95.
Okay. All right.
Which
So
also
mid 20s. I mean,
Yeah.
guys, I honestly think that not that we've done a good job. Let's pat ourselves on the back. Clearly, the distillers
Thank
have
you,
done a
Rick.
good
Thank
job.
you.
But I mean, this lineup, come on. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sitting here struggling right now, looking
Yeah.
at what's up there and what we tasted, and there's not a single one of these that is a bad bourbon.
I mean, this is the semifinals. Although we have multiple alcohols or multiple bourbons here, they're all great for a reason.
They made it this far for a reason. I mean, like, it's going to be a struggle for me. I mean, we still have, we're tasting the old granddad. You guys will be tasting it for the next month before we still have Elijah Craig left.
Well, something also, when I've been talking to people about the series that we've been doing, especially people who are bourbon people, they're like, oh, $20 bottles of alcohol? Because they're like, oh, I drink, only $100 bottles plus. It's like, all right.
Okay, yeah.
Well, that's great.
Let's blind you on some stuff.
And we are, this $20 range and this flavor profile is amazing.
No one who really enjoys whiskey, and especially bourbon, would just disregard.
Yeah, and that's where I'm like, well, maybe the podcast isn't for you.
But I can understand somebody saying I really like barrel proof stuff.
Right, much higher
like,
proof.
Those are $60 and
yeah,
and
for
stuff
sure.
like
But
that.
if you're only drinking, it's like you gotta. There's a time and a place for everything, including the really expensive stuff. But 20, like, if you need to have a consistent drinker, you can't be drinking that stuff all the time. I mean, that's unless you got your wallet is just full of Bitcoin.
We already know anyone who's watching this, you're not that well off.
So I've blinded a dual blind off before with people that like Basil Hayden. Because old granddad here on the cover is, on the label is Basil Hayden. So again, we talked about this before, how Basil Hayden was Jim Beam's. It's considerably more expensive than this, et cetera, et cetera. It's 80 proof. This is 100 proof. Same mash bill. I'm not saying it's the same, stuff inside. It's the same mash bill. So how long? I think Basil Hayden stays in the barrel longer, et cetera, et cetera. But I've done blinds with Basil Hayden drinkers. Like, I like this, and blind without looking at this gas station looking bottle, and then the nice sort of presentation of Basil Hayden. And they picked, well over 80% picked this. And they were almost dead certain that was the Basil Hayden.
Yeah.
And then I go, well, I just saved you money because this is $22.95. And Basil Hayden for 80 proof is whatever it is.
We're gonna have to do a Basil Hayden in one of our.
Yeah. So this is going to be.
I will tear it apart.
You shouldn't, like, the price to the quality and the experience and the flavor is what is most important.
Well, and the other thing is with bourbon, because bourbon is such a new, huge. It's been around, but it's booming to crazy heights, and that's fairly recent. The prices of bourbon are not necessarily relevant for quality.
Yeah.
Like, any new distillery is going to have something priced at $60, no matter what, or more.
Yeah.
It can have a 6-year, and it's like, oh, this is our 6-year bourbon, $100. That's nice.
Yeah.
I can get something from Old Forester for $40 or $50, and it's better than this shit.
Although at the same time, if it's good and if you're wanting to support,
absolutely.
local
There's nothing wrong with
distillery,
supporting a local distillery.
like Wilderness
saying,
Trail, you can't see it anymore; it's been taken over. But Wilderness Trail is a bottle and bond, and I was like, wow, let's try it. This is a newer distillery.
Absolutely.
And it's good, but is it worth the however much money I spent on it? I don't think so.
It's sort of, again, we've said it many times. Your palate is your palate. What you like and what you drink is your business. And I just think the reason we're doing this $20 to $30 range is to show that there are, it's going to be incredibly tough to pick two of these to move forward. And these are all in the $20 to $30 range. And so it does not have to be it doesn't have to be expensive. It's like anything. There's awesome bourbons and whiskeys out there for over $100. That I really, really, really enjoy. But I'm not made of money personally, and so if I can enjoy something and it's not going to kill my pocket, my wallet or whatever, then Why not?
Especially if you're interested in, like, if you listen to this and you're like, oh, wow, like, I wish I could do that. Well, this is actually very doable for someone on a smaller budget. It's like, guess what? In your budget, trust me, there's amazing bottles of bourbon.
$100, maybe 120, you could have all these.
Exactly. You can do...
Or you can buy one bottle of something
Yeah.
that's not as good as all these.
Do you want to do a flight 15 times with your friends, or do you want to do one shot per friend? You know?
I have had $100 bottles.
Yeah.
That were bad.
Oh,
not like bad for $100. Yeah. They were not really
good.
drinkable.
Yeah. Not
how disappointing
good.
is that?
Yeah.
It was insane.
If you have a $20 bottle of alcohol and it's bad, well, then use it for something else.
Yeah.
If you spend $100 and it's bad, it's like it makes me just want to dump it out of
20-year
spite.
bourbon. That was terrible.
Like 20 years sounds like a lot of bourbon.
Speaking of wood, I'm assuming
they didn't.
Yeah.
They didn't take care of the whiskey, so they left it in a barrel for 20 years, and so the wood just took over the whole thing, and they were like, "We're going to bottle this and sell it for $100."
Nailed it.
It was.
They'll buy it up. I'm sure.
I'm sure they did.
People did. Like, oh, this says 20 years. It's $100. I'm gonna.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna buy it for somebody.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Absolutely.
Awful.
Yeah. Well, so high rye mash bill, old granddad. There you go. Beats Basil Hayden almost every time in a blind. That's good stuff. Old granddad.
It is good.
All right. I got some like chocolate in that last.
Yep.
That was not expected.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Wow.
Dude, it's good.
That is good.
Do you wanna
Sorry.
do the thing?
Wow.
We'll swap it out here with the Elijah Craig.
So we're
Small
gonna.
batch.
So we've had our two Jim Beams, the old tub and old granddad, and now this is another Heaven Hill product.
I will argue is the best looking bottle of all of them.
Oh yeah.
Which
it's
they have
sleek and sexy.
Elijah Craig.
Yeah. It's a nice looking bottle, which I still complain because I like the older ones. But compared to all these other ones, I mean, the Evan Williams has the deep wax. Like Maker's Mark likes to think they're the only ones that wax anything.
Yeah. Sorry, Maker's Mark.
The Evan Williams single barrel has they just dunked it in wax.
Yeah.
But I still think the Elijah Craig has the best look to their bottle. It's a nice bottle. All right,
Got that
settle
nice
down.
ding ding sound going on.
Figaro,
Necktie.
Figaro, Figaro.
Elijah Craig.
Jeez, you poured heavy on this one too.
I extra did, yeah.
Oh my God.
It's a small batch.
I'm already hammered.
So I gave you a small batch.
Got to get those hot takes.
94 proof Elijah Craig, Heaven Hill
We're
product.
about to get canceled.
Again, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but for a while here, for 6 months or whatever, this was well over $30. Now it's back down to $25, $26 here, $27 here. So that's why it's in the $20 to $30 range. But if we would have done this 6 months ago, it wouldn't have made its way into the $20 to $30 range.
Yeah, it's weird. It's so weird with some of those pricing
Yeah.
things. Like,
Well, what's going to be interesting, because what I'm worried about is the Old Forester. Because we're going to go through this whole thing, is if that's not in the $20 range, and let's say it wins.
so it's still in the $20 range everywhere I go except Total Wine
Okay.
currently.
Okay. Well, that's
Like
cool.
it's not like our entire market has put it higher. I think for whatever reason, which when I was in a liquor store, sometimes that happened where it was like, oh, we're gonna have these prices, and then someone's being a bitch in the negotiations, and so they just price it at whatever, or the distributor prices it higher because it was harder for them to get, and then whatever. So there's all sorts of weird inner workings with that. So I wouldn't worry too much about it because I haven't seen it everywhere else. If I see it everywhere else, that's a totally different story.
And if you're watching this 6 years from now and inflation is insane, these
yeah.
may be $100 bottles of alcohol.
Exactly.
So
If you're watching this 6 years from now, what are you doing?
you're having lots of fun. That's for sure.
Or you need a life. Signature bourbon.
Also, it means we haven't hit World War III yet.
Oh,
which
that's
is good.
true.
That's
That's
a good
true.
thing.
Exactly.
Fair enough.
It's just on a server that'll outlast humanity.
Yeah.
It's for the aliens.
Yeah.
A little known fact: this is the #1 bourbon in Ukraine. I'm joking. I'm joking. I have no idea.
Hot take. Actually, that's what the gold.
That's what that's for. Yeah. So exactly the flat, sort of thin bottle or whatever. Interesting. I just love that. Woo. Yeah. Different. Oh.
We can have a symphony here. So
We got to wrap this up.
what do you got in the nose?
I hate this.
He hates music.
Yeah, I do.
What do you got in the nose?
It's so good.
It is good.
Honey.
So good.
I'm getting honey.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
See that this is still fitting what I was saying last time. It's homey, baked goods, dessert.
Yeah, this is meeting your family for the holidays.
Oh yeah.
And you like them.
Yeah, you love it. Yeah.
That's not universal, but
And you like
Yeah,
them.
need some context.
Yeah, I don't know. This is sort of like the crazy uncle. No, it's like
no, this is comfortable. It's comfortable.
Ooh,
oh.
that's some good juice.
Oh. I love learning too. And even though I've had Elijah Craig small batch many times before or whatever, I think when last time we had it, we opened this up or whatever, and it'd been a long time since I had it because, I've got some of their lucky enough to get some of their barrel proofs and toasted barrels and things like that, which I enjoy, very much. But this is for the price, this is very solid. I mean, this is a winner.
It's dynamite.
It's a winner.
It is dynamite.
It's all those things.
This is dessert, man.
We actually did have a comment on how to find the barrel proof of this.
Yeah, how do you find
yeah.
the barrel
Which-
proof?
Random, super random. Like it's hard
Well,
to find.
they come out. The barrel proofs come out three times a year.
3 times a year. It's January, May, and September.
or November or whatever. But that's not necessarily
it's
when
September.
they.
It's
That's
9.
not necessarily when they hit the shelves. That's when they. So it's
Bottled. That's when they bottle.
A is January. B is
Yeah.
May or whatever, and
So unfortunately, like if you're looking for the
But it all depends on distribution.
yeah, where you are at, it's really hard to find the stuff that is just either rare or everyone wants it.
Well, and so, I've often
Yeah.
said that some of the, Elijah Craig you can go and find on the shelf, the 94 proof that we're drinking here, which is
That's how-
outstanding.
my local
but
super
but I'm
center.
convinced that bourbon is such a hot thing right now that I am 100% convinced that sometimes it doesn't even hit the shelf because people in the chain, in the distribution, in the, sometimes it doesn't even make it to the store,
In
let
the
alone
warehouse.
yeah, like warehouse and that, or at the store, employees of the store
Yeah.
buy it up and it's, and it doesn't even make it
I
there.
know that happens.
Yeah.
I 100% know that
Which
happens.
it sucks, but you got to know somebody.
Yeah.
So-
well,
Well, develop,
but it also
relationships.
is. That's why you don't buy things on the secondary market.
Yeah,
Buying things on
please,
the gray
dude.
market,
God, don't
like
do
that's
that.
what's feeding that.
Yeah.
All these bottles that are hard to find and everybody wants. If you're gonna spend $1,000 on it, then they're gonna keep doing it. So just don't give them the opportunity. Don't satisfy that. So dumb. I had a dude tell me that he had, I think, a friend that had a Pappy Van Winkle 20-year, maybe 23-year, and he was willing to sell it to me because I was a whiskey person for, I think it was $1,800. It's not worth it, man.
When you can
There are
buy-
so
you
many
can-
good
you can fly to
bourbons.
Europe.
There are so many good bourbons that aren't going to break you.
Well, I mean, the Elijah Craig small batch. I mean, this
is gangbusters.
This is the best of the best in this price range, and probably much above because it was previously higher than this price range.
Well, it was always $25. Then they did some weird thing where it went up, and now it's kind of back down.
All right.
Well,
Well,
I mean, this was always $25.
Connor, I mean, I like how one of you described it like like family or Christmas, and you like them or whatever. It's just everything.
Or
It's vanilla. It's caramel. It's caramel. It's got some interesting little edges.
My
A
fucking
little
son always
spice
comes over.
going. A little spice going on with it.
Yeah.
It's 94 proof. It's not, but
Dude,
it drinks
this-
really really well.
This makes me not care at all about proof.
yeah.
Not even a little bit. It
Yeah.
does not matter. It's so good.
So good and
There's
solid.
so much
That
flavor.
aftertaste lasts.
Oh, it's still going. Yeah, it's still going.
This is dessert. I'm telling you guys, this is something that you would actually use as a dessert. It's like, all right, we just had dinner. Everyone's good. Let's have dessert. And this is going to be Elijah Craig, including you, little kid.
There you
Okay,
go.
Digestive. It's a
Are you
digestive.
are you gumming? There we go.
Yeah. You want to go to bed? Huh? You colicky?
Oh, I mean, you guys laugh, but that's what my grandpa did to me. My German grandpa, the schnapps, as 5 years old, the schnapps. It's like, oh, and then the little kid goes to sleep. It's
Wow.
perfect.
Magic
I like how you
cube.
say that it's like a generational thing. You spiked my hot chocolate once when I was a kid
Yeah.
with butterscotch schnapps.
yeah.
Tase him.
I tasted it. I was like, Dad, what's going on here? He's like, it's good, right?
Oh, yeah.
What?
See, you should be thanking me. I gave you your interest in bourbons.
Welcome to the
early.
club, son.
He gave me alcoholism.
He was building your palate.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
for this very moment, you are now meant for alcohol content.
Wow. And then mine's gone.
Been bred
Tobacco.
for it. I've been groomed for it.
Tobacco.
Hot topic.
Yeah. Which you.
They're not always hot.
No comment.
It's like when you could spill milk or try to put milk back in the toothpaste container. Or
So
there's tobacco I'm smelling now. Oh my
I'm
goodness.
taking this out of here. We're looking
All
at
right,
them
we
all
gotta go.
on the wide
Yeah.
angle. What are we looking at here? We got Elijah Craig. This is desserty. It's flavorful. The proof doesn't matter, although it's still high up.
Are
there
you
in the
going
proof.
through? Are you going to go through and rank? You should go through and rank.
Yeah,
All right.
we need two with maybe a potential.
If something needs to be
Yeah.
a third, maybe.
You need two.
I think it's pretty easy for me.
Oh my God.
Boom.
Okay.
Hit us with it.
Yeah.
I think we got Elijah Craig.
Okay. EC.
We got Old Tub
Okay.
because of its
OT.
character.
Yeah.
So I would personally, my own decision, I would put Old Tub if I was drinking it. But I feel like Elijah Craig fits the bill as like the best in this lineup.
But you're saying,
But it
just
can be with
personally,
whatever
your
context
taste,
you want.
But your taste, you're going. I mean, of all those five, the Elijah Craig
favorite's Old
Old
Tub?
Granddad Bottle and Bond,
All right.
Larceny, Evan Williams Single Barrel, and Old Tub Bottle and Bond. You're saying
Well, if we're giving
tonight
hot
you
takes.
liked Old Tub best.
Yeah.
That's what I just
That's
heard
your
you
So
say.
favorite.
all right, I'll give Old Tub the gold
nod.
on this one.
All right.
Okay.
All right. If I'll do it based on my palate. Old Tub, Elijah Craig, Old Granddad, Larceny, and Evan Williams. I was not expecting to give Evan Williams the shaft again,
But well, hey, come on, it's in
With
a
its
sort of
wood
elite
profile-
company.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
but we're in the semifinals. All of these are good.
We're not fucking
I
around
enjoyed
anymore.
Evan Williams, but if I'm given my honest opinion, I was not originally, but Old Tub has character. It is unique, and man, for $24, hell yeah,
Yep.
sign me up. Next,
Okay.
Next. I'll go.
all right,
Okay, go.
Elijah Craig. 100%.
Yep.
The best.
Yep.
I've liked that for so long. Like
Yeah.
I remember the first time
I
when
love
I
it.
tried it, and this I don't know how many years ago it was now, but I tried it and it gave me a flavor profile that I had never experienced before. And it just keeps killing it.
yeah.
I'm gonna go Old Granddad second.
Just news, you tried it when you were teething and didn't know it.
Yeah.
Manchurian candidate over here.
Sorry, go for it. So Elijah Craig for sure, then what we got?
Old Granddad would be my second. I think I'm gonna put Old Tub third. I do like the weirdness. Larceny's fourth. Evan Williams is fifth.
Interesting.
Though I almost put that Larceny higher because it was a new bottle. Like our experience with that new bottle, that almost tipped it for me to put it higher because it's like, oh, this is even more interesting than we've had before. So it's still good.
But
it's
it
really
does
good.
not beat out Old Granddad.
Hell no.
Yeah.
Between Larceny and Old Tub, it is a toss above this is comfortable and safe versus this is kind of weird.
Yeah.
So whatever your palate goes toward, that's fine. But Elijah Craig and Old Granddad for me are just next level. Cool. Those are next level.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough. Good job. I've got them written down here. So for me, number one would be Elijah Craig this tonight. And I can't believe I'm going to do this, but second place would be Old Tub, followed closely by Old Granddad. So the two Jim Beam products that are both bottled and bond, right on the heels. And just tonight, the Old Tub just edges out the Old Granddad.
Go.
And then it doesn't really matter, but I think I'd take Evan Williams, single barrel, and then Larceny. But again, both of those very close.
All right.
So Elijah Craig, I took notes. Elijah Craig
goes
clearly
through.
moving through.
And then Old Tub.
And then it looks like
I feel bad.
Looks like Old Tub with if we need like a third one. So the idea is we're going to have another semifinal with 5 that are already set. But if the final will be blind and either 4 or potentially 5.
Yeah.
So it's possible that Old Granddad shows up as moving through, depending on what happens when we do the other semifinal.
Yeah.
Like if there's a distant third, then it would be Old Granddad.
Depending
bottom.
on the other one, I would love to have Old Granddad in the final.
And I honestly, personally can't believe I'm doing that. But if I'm just being real to my palate tonight,
that's great.
Old Tub beat out Old Tub was more
Dark Horse,
interesting.
man.
Yeah.
Dark Horse. What a bottle.
So before I was like, I'm gonna go get a bottle, and I haven't yet. I'm going to go get this
of the
bottle.
Old Tub.
Yeah. Yeah.
After this, I'm gonna get an Uber. Okay, I'm gonna get 3 Ubers because I won't know how to get to the liquor store by the end of these drinks that we have here. But man, I was impressed.
It's good.
It comes packing a punch though. Its proof is there, but it's balanced with the wood and the caramel.
I will say, I think the nose on the Old Tub was the best.
Yes. Yeah, I would totally agree.
100%.
Yep.
I would actually almost go as far to say that the other ones were kind of weak on the nose.
Compared to Old Tub was very interesting on the nose.
I thought Elijah Craig
Craig delivered what it.
Yeah. No, and
it's
the
not
other
weird.
Thing,
it's
the
not
other
crazy,
thing about the nose for me is that's interesting and it is part of the whole process. But it really, to me, is the
you got to taste it. Yeah,
the taste, and then mouthfeel and finish and things like that. That's going to outweigh that. I mean, that was an interesting nose,
Rick,
but I'm not drinking with my nose.
For those without tongues.
Which is apparently like 18% of our audience.
Somehow. So for those of you who have no tongue, Old Tub is definitely your go-to.
That's your perfume right there.
I honestly can't believe I'm semi turning my back on
I know.
Basil Hayden.
Bad. I feel bad.
No, it's good. No, it's solid. You could not go wrong. Honestly, depending on your palate, they're here for a reason. All of them are good.
Everyone's a winner here.
Honestly,
here's a participation medal.
If you want to spend $100 and get either all of them or 4 out of 5, depending on your taxes, you could. They're all worth it. They're all worth having.
Yep.
In my opinion.
I think yes. Yep. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Very enjoyable. It was
Thanks
it
for-
was the Heaven Hill versus the Jim Beam, and it looks like there's a Heaven Hill moving on and a Jim Beam moving on with
Yeah.
maybe a Jim Beam sneaking in
Yeah.
the last round. The old granddad. We'll see what happens.
Thanks for
with
bringing the
other
new
semifinal.
bottles.
Yeah,
I'm glad we did the new bottles. It was worth it for the fact of just science.
Instead of the
So,
dregs.
Yeah.
the dregs.
It tasted way like the Larceny, especially. I mean,
Very different. Yeah.
because that's already the lowest proof we have, right?
No,
No,
Evan
it was
Williams.
Whoa.
the single barrel Evan Williams.
Now
was.
that actually really changes things. I kind of didn't put that together.
It's weird how much flavor the Evan Williams has
Yeah.
for so low of proof.
Interesting.
Which also kind of goes against the argument where people are like, oh, I need a barrel strength because it has more flavor. That's
Yeah.
not necessarily true. That is 100% not necessarily true.
Well, the old tub's unfiltered, so I think that helps a lot in keeping some of those esters and some of that flavor in there
Yeah.
or whatever.
Who's Esther?
Well,
All right. Well, as always, make sure to let us know that you like this video by actually pressing the like button and by subscribing, because we are not done. We have the part 2 of the semifinal.
Just click the buttons.
Just click the buttons.
It costs you nothing.
It
or
really
you'll get
doesn't.
tased.
Yeah, we'll tase you. I now
We're not
know
even
it's-
monetized.
I know the police officers now.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm familiar. They know how to tase.
Rory's going to come for you.
Yeah, subscribe. Let us know in the comments as well. Are we full of shit? I don't think so. Okay,
Yeah,
no,
challenge me.
So
Yeah,
well,
we're right.
We're
We'll
definitely
we'll
right.
fight you.
we'll digitally fight you. But if you're, we'll do it. We'll do it.
Instead of a crack nap, I think it's a whiskey nap.
So, yeah,
a
so-
wop.
Yeah, I'm about to take a whop right
I'm
now.
about to take a wop.
so Joachim from Belgium, get involved with some bourbons. Come on, some good old American Belgian.
Come on.
Bourbons here.
Going international.
That's one of our
We're going
viewers, by the
international.
way. He commented.
Yeah.
And so if you comment, maybe we'll talk about.
He was,
Yeah.
he was trying to slide into the DMs.
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Well.
Go grab that other bottle.